Imagine waking up one morning to discover that everything you thought you knew about your mind was wrong. What if your brain, that 3-pound organ inside your skull, isn't the source of your consciousness at all? What if instead, it's more like a radio, tuning into a vast cosmic broadcast of awareness? This isn't science fiction. It's a theory that's challenging the very foundations of neuroscience and our understanding of reality itself. Today, we're diving into a world where consciousness isn't confined to our heads, but spans the entire universe. A world where your thoughts might be ripples in an infinite ocean of awareness. Buckle up. We're about to embark on a journey that might just change the way you think about thinking itself. Most of us think of consciousness as something our brains produce, similar to how a computer processes information. But what if there's more to the story? What if our brains aren't creating consciousness but receiving it from elsewhere? This perspective invites us to reconsider fundamental assumptions about the nature of our awareness. Let's dive deeper into the concept of the larger consciousness system, or LCS, an idea popularized by physicist and consciousness researcher Thomas Campbell. Campbell proposes a radical notion that the entire universe, at its most fundamental level, is not made of matter or energy, but of consciousness itself. In this view, what we perceive as physical reality is actually a construct within a vast, evolving system of consciousness. It's as if the universe is a cosmic computer, with consciousness as its operating system. According to Campbell's theory, our individual minds are not isolated entities, but are intimately connected to this larger system. If the LCS is an infinite ocean of consciousness, our individual minds are like whirlpools in that ocean, distinct and identifiable, but fundamentally part of the larger whole. This perspective suggests that our brains aren't generating consciousness, as conventional neuroscience assumes. Instead, they're acting more like sophisticated receivers or transceivers, tuning into specific frequencies of consciousness from the LCS. This idea has profound implications. It suggests that our conscious experiences, our thoughts, emotions, perceptions, are not confined to our brains but our interactions with a much larger field of consciousness. Our sense of individuality, in this view, comes from the unique way our brains tune in to the LCS, shaped by our genetics, experiences, and choices. Moreover, Campbell argues that this system is not static but dynamic and evolving, with our conscious experiences potentially contributing to the evolution of the whole system. If true, this theory could potentially explain phenomena that have long puzzled scientists, such as intuition, creativity, or even certain psychic experiences. These might be understood as moments when we tap into broader aspects of the LCS beyond our usual frequency. However, it's important to note that while intriguing, the LCS theory remains highly speculative and is not accepted by mainstream science. It challenges fundamental assumptions about the nature of reality and consciousness and raises as many questions as it attempts to answer. As we continue our exploration, keep in mind that the LCS theory offers a radical reimagining of our place in the universe. It suggests that far from being isolated observers, we might be active participants in a vast, interconnected field of consciousness that underlies all of reality. This perspective significantly shifts our understanding of the mind's relationship to the universe, inviting us to consider consciousness not as a product of the brain, but as a fundamental aspect of existence itself. If we accept the premise that our brains are receivers rather than generators of consciousness, it leads us to a fascinating concept often referred to as the container theory of consciousness. This theory proposes a radical shift in how we understand our relationship to awareness itself. Instead of thinking of consciousness as something produced by our brains, we might consider ourselves as vessels or containers for a more universal form of consciousness. Imagine consciousness as a vast cosmic ocean. In this metaphor, we, as individuals, are like unique vessels floating on its surface. Our bodies and brains form the structure of these containers, while our conscious experiences, our thoughts, emotions, perceptions, and sense of self are like the water filling these vessels. Just as the water in a container takes on the shape of its vessel, Our individual consciousness is shaped by the unique structure of our brains and bodies, influenced by our genetics, experiences, and choices. This perspective has profound implications for how we understand ourselves and our relationships with others. If we're all containers drawing from the same ocean of consciousness, it suggests a fundamental interconnectedness that goes beyond our conventional understanding of individuality. We're not isolated islands of awareness, but rather interconnected nodes in a vast cosmic network of consciousness. This challenges our typical notions of separation and individuality, suggesting that at a deeper level, we're all expressions of a unified field of awareness. Moreover, the container theory opens up intriguing possibilities for understanding various states of consciousness. Altered states, such as those experienced in meditation, during peak experiences, or in certain mental health conditions, might be understood as changes in how our container interfaces with the larger field of consciousness. This model could potentially offer new ways of thinking about personal growth, mental health, and even the nature of human potential. By viewing ourselves as containers for consciousness rather than its creators, we open the door to a more expansive and interconnected view of what it means to be conscious beings in a conscious universe. These ideas, if true, would have profound implications. They suggest consciousness isn't just a byproduct of brain activity, but something fundamental to the universe itself. This represents a significant shift from materialist views of consciousness. It implies a deep interconnectedness between all conscious entities, extending beyond our conventional understanding of human relationships. If we're all expressions of the same larger consciousness, it suggests a fundamental unity to all existence, potentially transforming how we relate to each other and our environment. It might also offer new ways to understand puzzling phenomena like near-death experiences or the placebo effect. These experiences might be more readily explained as interactions between our individual consciousness and a larger field of awareness. As we conclude, let's reflect on the bigger picture. Throughout history, our understanding of ourselves and our place in the cosmos has undergone radical shifts, from believing Earth was the universe's center to discovering our place in a vast galaxy and uncovering the quantum realm. The ideas we've explored, the larger consciousness system, and humans as consciousness containers, represent another potential paradigm shift. Whether or not they prove accurate, they challenge us to think deeply about the nature of reality and our place within it. Moving forward, we must balance open-mindedness with critical thinking. While we should be willing to entertain ideas that challenge our assumptions, we must also demand rigorous evidence and logical consistency. The next time you ponder your own consciousness, remember, you might be contemplating something far vaster than you ever imagined. Your thoughts and awareness might be ripples in a cosmic ocean of consciousness, with your body and brain serving as the unique vessel through which you experience this grand adventure we call reality. Thank you for joining this exploration into the frontiers of consciousness. If intrigued, I encourage you to dig deeper. Explore the work of consciousness researchers, engage with different philosophical perspectives, and stay curious. The greatest mysteries of existence might be closer than we think, perhaps right behind your eyes, in the very awareness you're experiencing now.